Hello and welcome along. Thank you for joining us on the Mechatronics module. This is the NeoPixels module and this is activity D. So for activity D, we are going to try and animate one of the LEDs. Now on our NeoPixel strip here that we've been using for the last couple of activities, we have 10 LEDs. We've animated colors moving across and we have looked at different groups of LEDs flashing. Now what we want to do is animate one back and forth across the line. So we're going to do the Larson Scanner. And if you that remember Knight Rider, you'll be familiar with the red light that flashed over and back in the front. So we're going to jump across into make code and we're going to have a go at doing that. So we have our plan. Let's call this Knight Rider. And we'll create our new project. So again, very quickly, I'm going to jump in here into extensions and I'm going to grab the NeoPixel extension and drop it into make code. I'm going to begin by saying set strip to, I'm going to pull the forever block down here, I'll need it in a moment. Set strip to NeoPixel at pin 0, and I know that I've got 10 LEDs in my strip. Now, on start, I want to begin, and if I just jump to my visualizer, I want to start off with the first LED, LED 0. I want it to start off red. And then we're going to look at moving it across the line to number 9 and moving it back again. So, on start, let's go into our NeoPixel drawer, and in the More section, the second part of the drawer, I can come along, and the second one down here is set pixel color at 0, which is the first one, to red. So that's what color I want it to go, and for that to happen I have to put in the strip show command. So now when my simulator comes to life, I will see that my first LED, LED 0, is colored red. So I know from the simulator that's going to work. Now, I want to get that moving over and back across the line. So if just on my simulator here, I want it to move down and back up again. So to make the red LED move, I'm going to use a command we used in activity B, where we had the shift pixels that moved along. So let's have a look at doing that. So we want this to come along and we want it to move. So we're going to come along to our NeoPixels drawer and we're going to say shift pixels by 1. And again, we have to put in the strip show. Now we want this to happen automatically. So let's put it in there and we're going to make a loop. Now when we're putting in a loop, we're going to say repeat. And I'll just drop this in here. So these guys are going to have to repeat. Now, if I look to my visualizer, I can see that from here, that has to move 9 times. So repeat once, twice, 3 times, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So back in make code, I'm going to say repeat this 9 times. And again, when I'm doing a loop, I'm going to have to put in a pause. Otherwise, it's going to happen too quickly for me to see it. So that's the first part of my loop. And now my simulator has just shown me that it's happened. So it's moved down there. And if I refresh my simulator, it pushes that from the start down along the line. And at the end, it just falls off the end. And that's it gone. So we want it to come back up again. So let's copy this loop and we'll just drop it in underneath here. So forever we want it to come back. Now if we look at our simulator, we can see that nothing happens. Now we found out in activity B earlier that what would happen is it would push off the end of the strip and we wouldn't see it again. It just vanishes off and it's gone. unlike the rotate command. So to make it come back in MakeCode, when it gets down to the end, we're going to tell it to shift the pixels by -1. So we're going to tell it to step backwards 1. So it's going to step forward 9 times, and then it's going to step backwards. And if we look at our simulator, we can see what's happening here. It's moving over and back. Now, if you want to see what the code is doing, there's a handy little feature in MakeCode whereby if we click on the little beetle, it brings us into a thing called debug mode. If we come along and up here at the top, there's a snail in debug mode. If I click on my snail, it shows me what's happening. So I can see being animated on screen. If I look at the simulator, I can see every step. It's moving forward 1, shifting pixels, stepping forward until it gets down to the very end. And now it should move to the next loop and it'll start to step backwards. So it's going -1, showing us the new position, pausing, -1, show the new position, pause, and that brings it back up until it gets to the start. And when that happens, it should go to the start of the forever loop again and come back down. And there we have it. And for any of you that are trying this at home, just in the middle section here where our drawers of code normally are, it gives us some numbers telling us what the actual block is doing at the minute. So we're on step 6, step 7, step 8, 9, and now we should start coming back up again. And there we have it on our simulator. Okay, so let's close out of that, exit debug mode, top right hand side, there we are. And now let's flash this guy, we'll download it and flash it across to our, so there we go. Let's bring this guy across to our microbit. And now when our microbit powers up, we should start here and work our way over. And there we have our Larson scanner, or our Knight Rider scanner, moving over and back, animating that, and when we look at our blocks in MakeCode, it makes it easy for us to see exactly the steps that our microbit is carrying out for us. So I hope you'll join me for activity E, where we look at animating some of the audio style indicators. So thank you very much.